Hello and welcome to Rathod's IAS. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 28th July 2023. So let's get started with our discussion, and I am getting good enough replies from you students. I am very glad to share that, and I am expecting further more replies because we are getting like more than 1000 views every day. But we are getting answers from 4 to 5 students. So what about the rest? So what happened to the rest? So if there are any suggestions, so please give me your suggestions in the comment box. Okay. So the first topic we are going to discuss, it is about hornet's nest in the Forest Amendment Bill. So recently our government came up with this Forest Amendment Bill, and this bill introduced in this monsoon session, and finally this bill had been passed. So here what you have to know. So here you have to know what are the laws which are present regarding the forest in India. Okay, so which are the laws you have to know. And apart from that, this Forest Amendment Bill is doing amendments to which forest law. So that is the second important thing. And you have to see what are the key provisions of this amendment bill and what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages or criticisms. So these 5 are the important aspects that you have to remember regarding this Forest Amendment Bill, and those things are given. Okay, so in this article they talked about only criticism, but we are going to see all these dimensions. Okay, so we are going to see 360 degrees of this topic, and this topic is important from your mains and even from your prelims point of view, and this topic is important from your environment and ecology. And next topic is weighing in on National Research Foundation Bill. So already we discussed about this National Research Foundation Bill number of times. So what exactly here you have to know. So what is this National Research Foundation Bill? Next one is why it is in news. And you have to see what exactly this National Research Foundation Bill is about, and what are the changes that we are going to get with this National Research Foundation. And here you have to see what are the issues as well. And these are the 6-7 important things that you have to know regarding this topic, and we are going to see. And this article which talks about only the limitations and what are the gaps, that is funding gaps. And this topic is important from governance point of view, which comes in a GS paper too. And this topic is also important from your prelims and as well as mains. So I want to ask one question. So which policy talked about the establishment of this National Research Foundation? So which policy said about this? So please let me know in the comment box. And next one is elusive consensus. So in yesterday's lecture we saw one small article in the page number 1, that is in the front page, that. So here on the sidelines of meet, so we have discussions between India and China. So here we are going to see highlights of that meet, and this topic is important from your international relations. So please let me know what are the issues we are facing with China. So at least 3 to 4 issues that you are facing with China. So please pause the video and try to think about exactly what are the issues that we are facing with China, and please let me know in the comment box. I am expecting answer from at least 10 to 12 students today. And this one is the anatomy of Yamuna floodplains. Yes, here you have to understand what exactly meaning of floodplain. So how many of you know about this concept of floodplain? So how many of you have read your NCERT 11th class? So please let me know in the comment box. So how many of you completed reading 11th class and 12th class NCERT? So there are 4 books. So how many of you read? So if you have read those books, then you might be coming across this. At least you will get a word that for floodplains I had read something regarding this in NCERT. So at least you will be getting that. Yes, I know this word floodplains. So how many of you completed reading 11th class and 12th class NCERT? So please let me know. Okay. So here this article is talking about Yamuna floodplains. So why we need to think about these floodplains? I will construct a story now. For example, let us take this is a river. So this river will be carrying lot of sediments, and these sediments will be deposited on the side of the river. And what happens, so whenever the deposits are seen on the side of river, so that will forms as a piles. So these piles are called as levees, and beyond this level, so what are the plain which is present on the both the side of the course of river. So this is called the floodplains. For example, let us take there is a huge rainfall. Okay, very heavy rainfall. So because of this, what happened? The water from the nearby areas, so they will be draining into this river. And what happened? Earlier the level of the river is this much, from here to this much. But because of we are getting flooded water, right? Because of opening of dams, etc. So there is overflowing. Now the river which is flowing till here, the height of the river or capacity of the river is very high. So whenever the capacity is increasing, what happened? So now water will start flowing from this way and it will be spilling outside the course of the river. That means water is entering into the floodplains. So what happens if there are settlements here? So if there are settlements, if there is a construction of dams, if there is a development project, or if there is a urbanization which happen on this both the sides of the river, so this floodplains area will be got decreased. So one thing is floodplain area will got decreased. So that what happened earlier, this floodplain used to hold the water, but there is no floodplain now. So this water will be entering into settlements of humans, and that will lead to disaster. The same thing, exactly the same thing that is seen in Delhi now. Okay, so here we have to know what is the anatomy of Yamuna floodplains. So what happened to these floodplains of Yamuna and why that led to the overflowing now. So what is the impact of the floods of Yamuna in Delhi. So all these things that we need to think about. So how the development happened across the sides of this river Yamuna is also very important thing that you have to know to understand the present crisis of Yamuna river. And this topic is important from your geography, which comes in the GS paper 1. And next topic is about MNCs, that is multinational companies. So 39 multinational companies, they come together for circular economy coalition. So already we discussed about this circular economy. So now earlier we used to have this concept called as take, make and dispose. TMD, take, make and dispose methodology, and we are thinking now that we have to move towards reuse, reduce and recycle, that is RRR concept. So if you want to move from TMD to RRR, so we need to have support from the different stakeholders. So one such stakeholder here is MNC companies. So MNC companies are also very important because in India, we are seeing that there is a lot of MNCs, they had been settled down, and these MNCs are from different countries. So if you want to control this climate change, pollution, so India alone, so what are the steps taken by government of India alone is not at all sufficient because it is a global problem. So all countries, they need to come together and they have to come up with taking of steps. So one such try which made by India as a precedence, as enjoying the presidency of this G20 here is, so we came up with this circular economy coalition, and this coalition, it is a group of about 39 MNCs. They came together and they want to move towards reduce, reuse and recycle concept from take, make, dispose. Okay, so this topic is important from international relations, and even we can connect this topic with environment and ecology as well. And next topic is at 120, Kerala reports most deaths from heat wave this year. So here Kerala state is facing heat waves. So why? So if you see the location of Kerala, okay, so whenever you are seeing the geography concepts, so try to open your atlas and see the location. So if you are seeing the location, then you will be getting a lot of insights regarding so what might be the causes. So here let us consider this as equator, and this is 23.5 degree north, and here we will be having India like this. So here we have Kerala, right? So Kerala, which is coming under tropical region. Kerala comes under tropical region, and now this article says that Kerala experienced lot of deaths because of heat waves. So what exactly you have to understand? You have to understand location of Kerala, whether it is present in tropical or temperate region, and you have to see what are the causes of these heat waves. And apart from that, you have to understand basic concepts called as what is the heat wave and what is the criteria to call that so and so event as a heat wave. So what is the temperature should be crossed, and this temperature is different when we are comparing with the hilly states, when we are comparing with the coastal states, and as well as normal areas. Okay, so here these are the some important concepts that you have to know, and I hope you got some insights regarding so how to read an article, right? So if you got the insight, so please hit the like button and subscribe to Rathod Science Academy if you are visiting this channel for the first time, and hit the bell icon so that whenever we are posting the video you will be getting notifications such that you are not going to miss any video. And next one is we are going to post a lot of informational videos in this channel, so try to subscribe to Rathod Science Academy. Okay, and even you can share these videos to your friends also who are in need. And the first topic, it is about the hornet's nest in the Forest Amendment Bill. So here we have to understand what is this Forest Amendment Bill. So why it is in use. So recently Lok Sabha passed Forest Conservation Amendment Bill, and this bill is 2023. So what is the context? The context here is in this ongoing monsoon session. So this bill introduced in Lok Sabha, and Lok Sabha finally passed this Forest Conservation Amendment Bill 2023. So yes, this bill is passed in Lok Sabha, and after passing in Lok Sabha it will be introduced in Rajya Sabha, and if Rajya Sabha also passes this bill, so this bill will move on to the president for the assent, and president will be having some choices, like he can give assent, he can send back the bill for the reconsideration, and he can enjoy the veto power, right? So in these choices here president will be opting one thing. So if our president, our honorable president gives assent, then that bill will going to become an act. So this is the procedure of passage of bill. So now let us try to see some details of this Forest Conservation Amendment Bill. So this bill ignored strong public objections, and it also highlighted the number of concerns. So many people have a lot of concerns regarding this bill, but even though without any changes, so this bill has been passed. So this is one cause of concern. So here many environmental activists, they say that, so here this bill commences with promising preamble, and this bill it is focusing to achieve some targets of India to achieve this climate change. They are called as climate change targets. So what are those? For example, we said that we are going to achieve this zero emissions or net neutrality, that is from 2070, that is net zero emissions. So here one of the target that promised by Government of India in COP26, that is in 2021. So this COP26, here our Prime Minister, he said that we are going to achieve carbon neutrality or net zero emissions by 2070. So this is the first important thing. And next one here is we have to create carbon sink. So carbon sink, what is the meaning of sink? So in your homes you are using sinks, right? Okay, for washing of dishes. So for what? So it will be taking the water that we use, that is a wastewater, domestic water that we used for the cleaning of bowels, that will be taken. So if you see this carbon sink is nothing but it will absorb carbon dioxide. So which are those carbon sinks? So can you give some examples of carbon sinks? So which can absorb carbon dioxide in atmosphere? So please let me know, at least 2 or 3. And next one is it will be focusing on increasing of forest cover, and even it is focusing on improving the livelihood of forest dwelling communities. So what are the important aims? The first one is we have to achieve zero emissions. Second one is we have to create carbon sink. That means we have to increase forest cover. For example, I am giving only one example. Don't give this example of increasing of forest cover. Okay. And we have to increase the forest cover, and we have to improve the livelihood of forest dependent or forest dwelling communities. So who are these forest dwelling communities? For example, tribals. Okay, and if you are talking about the forest conservation laws in India we are having 3 important things. So first and the foremost thing here is Forest Conservation Act of 1980. So this act which enacted to protect Indian forests. So what are the forests that are present in India? So we are going to protect that. So please let me know, so which kind of forest is seen highly in India? Okay, whether it is deciduous forest or evergreen forest or moist forest or wet forest, dry forest or montane forest. So which kind of forest is seen mostly in India? So please let me know in the comment box. And this was the question in your prelims in 2016 or 2017, I think so. And even this Forest Conservation Act empowers central government to regulate the extraction of forest resources. For example, bamboo, timber, coal, minerals by industries, and even by this forest dwelling communities. And this one is this Forest Rights Act of 2006 is the second important act which provides the rights of tribals and as well as forest dwellers who are dependent on the forest for their livelihood. So how these people are depending on this forest for their livelihood? So these tribal people who are living in this forest, so they will go into the forest for the hunting, and they will be going for hunting, and based on that hunting only they can have their food. And apart from that, they will be collecting minor forest produce like for fruits in the forest, and as well as honey, and also some important items that they get in the forest, and they will be taking them to the nearby market and they will be selling there. So in this way here, forest which helpful for leading of livelihood for this tribal people. And if you see this Forest Conservation of Act of 1980 says that, so here the central government is regulating or controlling this forest dwelling communities, and this act which said that there is no permission which is given for the forest dwelling communities to exploit the forest. But this Forest Rights Act of 2006 which empowers this tribal people and as well as other forest dwelling communities to depend on the forest for their livelihood. That means they can collect the minor forest produce. And even we have one more policy, that is India's Forest Policy of 1988. So this policy prescribes a third of the country's geographical area that to be under the forest. So this is about this forest conservation laws in India. So if we are talking about what are the issues that we are facing in this Forest Conservation Act, so why we need this amendment now? So if you are talking about this Forest Conservation Act, so it is having some issues. For example, so what is that? So here the protection which is mainly given to the areas which already marked as forest, but it is not talking about any new areas, and the power is given to both central government and as well as state government. And even Supreme Court judgment which is given in Godavarman versus Union of India in 1996 case, which expanded the scope of protection for this forest, and it said that it is not only saving normally the forest, but even we have to save the forest which comes under the dictionary meaning of forest. And next one here is, at present only 21% is under such cover, and about 24% if one also accounts the tree cover outside the areas which comes under unrecorded forest, plantations, orchids. So if you see, when we are talking about conservation of forest, only it comes at a 21%. But even if you are expanding this definition to the recorded forest or plantations, orchids, etc., then it will compromise about 24%. So we can go for saving of 24% if you are coming up with amendment to this Forest Conservation Act of 1980. And even according to Environment Ministry, so they want to address the issues that which is seen in this Forest Conservation Act of 1980. So because of that, here Environment Ministry which came up with this Forest Conservation Amendment Bill of 2023. So what are the key changes that we are going to make to this act by this amendment? So we came with inserting preamble. So this preamble is nothing but India's commitment to preserving of forest, and we are conserving their biodiversity, and we are also tackling the challenges from climate change. So first one is we introduced preamble, and what this preamble talks about. This preamble talks about three important things that you have to remember. That is, we are focusing on preserving of forest, we are focusing on biodiversity, and we are also focusing on tackling the challenges of climate change. And we also came with changing the name of Act to one Sanrakshan Evam Samvardhan Abhinayam. Okay, and this act which only apply to the lands which are notified in any government records as forest on or after 1980, and this act would not apply to the notified forest land which is legally diverted between 1980 to 1996 for non-forest use. That means here, so this act which is applicable only for the forest land. So it is not applicable for the non-forest land, and if there is any forest land which is diverted to non-forest land between 1980s to 1986 or 1996, so this is also exempted from this act. And the forest land which is situated 100 kilometers away from international borders, and the land which is used for strategic projects of national importance, and the land which is about 5 to 10 hectares which is given for the security and defense project, so this will be also exempted. So this exemption will be important from your prelims. And what are the objections to the changes? So exemptions, they are mainly seen. Okay, so here the significant forests in Himalayan, Trans-Himalayan and northeastern states are also exempted, so it is also detrimental for the development. And the dissent which is seen against the changing of the name of the bill. Okay, and next one is, so the act which waters down the Godavarman judgment, and the amendment titled the balance between the center towards the center. So center have the more power but not the state government, but actually this 1980 act says that power given to center and as well as state government, but this bill of 2023 which gives the more power, increased power to center. So this is also one important issue. And if you're talking about other objections, so restricting the legislation's ambit only to areas recorded as forest on or after October 1980, that would mean that leave out significant sections of forest land and many biodiversity hotspots. So here what happened? So whenever we are applying this amendments to only forest means, so what happened? Other sections of forest land that will also not getting importance, and even biodiversity hotspots, they will be also not getting the importance under this act. So these are some important challenges or objections. So I hope it is very much clear, right? And now let us try to see next topic. It is about National Research Foundation Bill. So here you have to see what exactly it is about. So here this topic is important from governance, that is polity and governance point of view. And this topic is at most important from your mains and as well as prelims. So we are going to see each and every dimension regarding this topic. Okay. So why it is in news? Union Cabinet recently approved for the introduction of this National Research Foundation Bill 2023 in the Parliament. So in the Parliament, we are going to introduce this National Research Foundation Bill 2023. So because of this is in news. And if you're talking about what are the important features of this bill, so this bill says that we have to establish National Research Foundation, and this is one of the apex body, that is a top body, and we will be having this SERB, that is Science and Engineering Research Board, and this Science and Engineering Research Board which is going to be repealed, okay, which is going to be replaced by this National Research Foundation. And actually this SERB which was set up in year 2008. So why? Because to promote basic research, to promote the basic research in science and engineering, and even to provide financial assistance to the persons who are engaged in research and development. So the people who are engaged in this research and development, they will be getting financial assistance also under this SERB. So now here SERB will be subsumed into this National Research Foundation, and it is having some expanded mandate and even covers the activities over and above the activities of the states engineering and research board. So this is about the features. So what exactly is this National Research Foundation? So here NRF, it is one of the key recommendations of National Education Policy of 2020. So National Education Policy came up with the recommendation that we have to set up this NRF, so it will be helpful for research and development in our country. And this NRF, which is modeled on the lines of hugely successful National Science Foundation of US. What is the aim? The aim it is to act as a coordinating agency. So this agency, which is between researchers and various government bodies and industry. So in this way here we can bring industry into the mainstream of research now. And this NRF, which also plans to grow, facilitate research in India's universities. Especially you can talk about state universities, and you can talk about infrastructure and researchers which are mainly funded. So if we're talking about who are going to governing this NRF, so NRF will be administered by Department of Science and Technology, and is also governed by a governing board. So from now onwards, we are going to have a governing board to govern this NRF. And if we're talking about funding here, so this NRF that will operate with a budget of rupees 50,000 crore for 5 years. And out of this, 28% which we are going to get from the government, and remaining 72% we are going to get from private sector. So now let us try to see what is the significance of this NRF. So we are going to focus on universities, right? So universities, especially regarding scientific research. In the area of scientific research, now we are focusing on colleges and universities, and we are going to have research in social sciences. So we are going to promote resources just not in the natural sciences, but even humanities, science, social science, arts, etc. And even we are also having some national priorities. So this NRF, which also have some aim to identify priority areas. For example, which are those areas? We have to focus on clean energy. So we have to focus on climate change. We have to focus on how to decrease this global warming, sustainable infrastructure, etc. And it is also helps for democratization. So the focus area for this NRF is peripheral, rural and semi-urban areas. They are often neglected. Talking about uniformity, it also aims to bring uniformity in funding, and it also focusing on reducing of bureaucratic hurdles as well. And next important thing here is internationalization. So it will also promote international competition, and even it will be helpful for finding the solutions as well. And what are the associated challenges? Yes, the first one is there is no enough funds. So there is less amount of funds. So 50% of funds that we need to get from this private sector. So it is one idea, or it is one challenge, that we are going to get this 50% of funds or not. And next one here is autonomy. So top positions in NRF board, they are reserved for the members of government. So because of this, we can see that there will be no autonomy for this board. And if we are talking about time period, so although we came up with this NRF draft, okay, so this draft which mentions process should be completed within 6 months, and releasing of funds, that may take time, and that will also sometimes we can see there is a pendings in the clearance of these funds. So here this is also one important issue, and these are some important things that you have to remember from this topic, and I hope it is very much clear regarding this NRF. So what exactly it is, so what happened, and what are the key features, so what are the challenges, etc. So I discussed all the things. And now let us try to see the next topic. Title says elusive consensus. So this article which is talking about international relations. So this is the relation between China and India. So let us draw the map here. So this is a very rough map. I am drawing beautiful India here. Okay, so this is India. So where exactly China is located? Whether here, here, here or here. So where? So here we have this part, China. China is immediate neighbor. So where exactly we are having the issues? We have issues near LAC, line of actual control. Here in the middle sector. Here in the eastern sector. So what are the steps taken by China to occupy this region? So here they are coming up with model cities. And China want to initiate war with India, that is water wars. And it is saying that this is the river Brahmaputra, right? So on this river Brahmaputra, they are going to build large dams. And if you watch news channels now, so what is the going on? The trendy news, that is rainfalls in Telangana, in the Telangana state, and especially there are many projects are overflowing. And recently I want to say that within one night, one village has been drowned away by this one small stream. So you can understand what is the impact of these dams. So let me know what is your opinion whether these dams are useful or not. So what happens if there is no proper maintenance of dams? Okay, so this is the question I want to pose you, and I am expecting that I am going to get enough answers for this question because I am asking your own opinion. Okay, just give me if yes or yes or no. So now let us try to see this article. So why it is in news? Because recently we had a meet. So recently we had a meet in Johannesburg between National Security Advisor and also between the top Chinese diplomat. So they talked about India's concern regarding LAC region. So here 2020 onwards, so 2020 March, April, May onwards, so there was a military standoff that is seen in this LAC region, and most of the patrolling points had been occupied by China, so which were under control of India. But what happened? So we went for different levels of talks between India and China, and even though now 4 to 5 patrolling points are under control of China, so there is no standoff that is seen in almost all the regions. So this is one cause of concern. So here China said that here Indian concern here is about the issue which is going on at LAC. So we want to maintain standoff, but we want to maintain the clearness. Okay, so there is military standoff that is seen, and we want to have the control of our own patrolling points. So this is the idea from India. But in this Demchok and Dipsang plains, so still they are under control of China. So China's actions are eroded and public and political bias of ties. So this is the thing which mainly said by India. And India wants to restore peace and as well as tranquility along these border areas. And we want to come up with a normalcy of bilateral ties between India and China. So if you see here, the Chinese readout which said that we are calling for the early return of ties to track of healthy and stable development. So from the China also, they are saying that yes, we need to come up with the normalcy and we need to come up with the track on healthy and stable development. Because on the Chinese side also, if you see the economy, they are facing the economic crisis in China as well. So here what happened? So from April 2020 onwards, so we saw there is military standoff between India and China across this LAC region, that is line of actual control region. So even if you are talking about trade between this China is boomed to a recorded levels in 2020, and 2021 it led by imports of Chinese machinery, and later on government banned apps of China, that is 200 apps, for example, even including TikTok. And after 18 rounds of talks, there remains little clarity on LAC situation and the continuing ingresses by China in Demchok and Dipsang plains. And even if you see, there are some arrangements which are mainly set up for the buffer zones in the 5 other points are welcome. But even though there is no complete disengagement between India and China, so here we need to come up. So these two countries need to come up and they have to stabilize the ties, and we have to restore the peace and as well as tranquility in this region. So this is the idea of this article. And next topic, it is about the anatomy of Yamuna floodplain. So we are going to discuss each and every minute detail which is given in this article so that you can appreciate geography. Okay, so this article is important from GS paper 1 under geography. So if you are talking about context, as you all know that because of torrential or heavy rainfall, so heavy rainfall in northern India. So what are the reasons? The reasons here is because of southwest monsoons and as well as western disturbances. So because of this western disturbance and southwest monsoon, so there is a heavy rainfall, and even we can add anthropogenical factors also there. Okay, so because of the southwest monsoon and western disturbances, so we can see there is a heavy rainfall in northern part of our country. And because of this heavy rainfall, so as you all know that here river Yamuna, which had been overflooded, and for the first time the levels of this river Yamuna, it is very high, and it is like 60 years high. And because of this, what happened, water gushed into these floodplains, and even water for the first time seen towards Taj Mahal also. So half a century, so it has been half a century that there is nothing like river level which increased such that it reached this Taj Mahal also. So for the first time we can see even Taj Mahal has been flooded, and more than 25,500 people, they have been evacuated from this area, especially from the low-lying areas of this river Yamuna. So what is exactly this floodplain means? So floodplain means nothing but, so if this is a river, for example this is a river and this U shape is called as meandering, right? So in which stage of river, in youth stage or young stage or mature stage we can see meandering? So please let me know in the comment box. So floodplain means nothing but the adjacent area. Okay, I will be changing the pen. So this adjacent area of the river course or the stream, it is called as floodplains. So what is the advantage of these floodplains? So these floodplains, they will be acting as natural filters. So they will be removing the excess sediments and nutrients so that it can maintain the quality of water. So even it will be helpful in replenishing of groundwater. So groundwater levels will be replenished by these floodplains, and it is also the primary source for the many communities, that it is also helpful for irrigation purpose, and they will be also growing for the crops, and even we can see they are also providing for the rich biological habitats, and they will be the grounds of fishing as well, right? And even migratory birds, they will be also seen in these floodplains. So these are the important things that you have to know regarding this floodplains. So I also attached one image. So this is the river, for example blue color. So this blue color is river, and on either side there will be depositing of sediments, so they form the levees, and beyond this levees, so whatever the region is there, plain region, that is called as floodplain. So if we're talking about why river Yamuna is important for Delhi, so this point you have to understand. So you know that here Yamuna river, it's important and it is flowing towards this Delhi. So this river which is ensuring the Delhi that there will be no short of water or no shortage of water, and here Delhi had been never ravaged by famines or floods. But here now it is not that thing, because here environmentalist activists, they said that yes, Delhi is important for Yamuna river is important for Delhi because it will provide water supply for Delhi, and this Delhi, it is well planned along the course of river, so that we can't expect any flood. But this idea of this environmentalist had been proved wrong now, because now we can see there is a flooding that is seen across the sides of this river Yamuna. So here what happened, because of haphazard construction activities, because of rapid urbanization, and because of lack of proper housing and without following the proper regulations, so now what happened, there is negative impact on these floodplains. And if you're talking about these floodplains now, they are comprising of slums, and we can see development of colonies, flyovers, bridges, and even we have some permanent structures like Ring Road and Akashardam Temple Complex and Commonwealth Game Village and Players Building, etc. And we have indoor stadium. So these are some permanent structures which are seen in this floodplain region. So because of this, now we can see there is a lot of negative impact that is seen in this Delhi because of increasing of water level in this river Yamuna. So if we're talking about the rights of rivers, so river have a right to expand, especially during the rainy season. So what happens, so whenever there is increasing of water flow, so there is a need to breathe through the floodplains. So they can breathe through the floodplains. But what happened, because of concretization of these floodplains, so there is no proper air supply or air breathe. So this is not only happening in the Delhi, but even many cities like Pune, Lucknow, Mumbai, they are facing these issues. And apart from the river systems, floodplains, they slow the water runoff during the floods, and they will helpful in the recharging of groundwater, and they will also store the excess water, and it will be helpful for providing of water supply, right? But because of this development, because of this concretization, that is leading to the sluggish flow of water into these floodplains. So now what happened, we are facing the shortage of storage of water, right? And because of this, we are experiencing devastating floods in this Delhi now. So this is about this topic. And next topic, it is about 39 MNCs, they come together for circular economy, says G20. So now let us try to see this topic, and this topic is important from international relations, and even we can connect this topic with environment and ecology. So already we discussed one editorial, I think day before yesterday, regarding this make, take, dispose to, reduce, reuse and recycle. Okay, so it comes under circular economy. So we're talking about the context, it says that embracing a circular economy models, so we are going for transition from linear take, make model. So we are going for linear, we are taking, we are making and we are disposing things, but we are now moving towards circular economy. So in this circular economy, we have triple R, that is reuse, reduce and recycle. So this circular economy, it is more sustainable. It is more sustainable and it is also more regenerative approach. So this is the thing which mainly said by our Union Environment Minister. Okay. So if you are talking about more details which are given in this article, it says that as many as 39 multinational companies. So what are these multinational corporations or companies? So these are the companies of different countries. They had been established in India. That means the governance of different countries is seen in this MNCs. And we are seeing from the sectors such as steel, FMCG, electronics, and these companies, they came together and they want to adopt resource efficiently and they want to promote circular economy, because now we are seeing the challenges like increasing of waste, for example plastic pollution, etc. And even we are seeing microplastic pollution in the water as well, and we are seeing the problem with the e-waste, electronic waste, chemical waste, etc. So because of all these things, so we need to go for using of resources efficiently and we have to move towards circular economy. So speaking about India's efforts to mitigating the burden of plastic waste, so here we have about 41 lakh tons of plastic waste. So this had been generated just in India within 2021 to 2022. So out of this 41 lakh, about 30 lakh tons they had been allocated to 2000 registered recyclers and plastic waste processing units. And you have to think about what is the condition of this remaining 11 lakh tons. So it finally end up in the rivers and as the seas. So this is the one important reason for the garbage patch, Pacific garbage patch or the garbage patch in Indian Ocean. And even this article which also talked about extended producer responsibility. So please let me know what is this extended producer responsibility that I already discussed in the earlier lecture. So here this extended producer responsibility guidelines, they are established through this act, that is plastic waste management rules. And under this 2.6 million tons worth of EPR certificates they had been generated by plastic waste processors, and around 1.51 million tons of those certified has been purchased by these producers, importers and brand owners. So this is about this topic, and now let us try to see next topic. It is about heat waves. So at 120, Kerala reports most deaths from heat waves this year. So because of this heat waves condition in India, so which state is facing a lot of number of deaths? That is Kerala. You can draw this diagram to represent this heat waves. And now let us try to see this topic in detail. So if you see context, it says that as many as 120 people they died in Kerala. So how many people died in Kerala? That is about 120 people they died in Kerala. So what is the reason? That is heat waves. Okay, so because of heat waves, so in the 1 year about 120 people they lost their life. And this is the first state, and second one is Gujarat. Gujarat faced normally 35 deaths, and Telangana faced 20 deaths, and Maharashtra state has 14 deaths, Tamil Nadu, UP, they had 12, and West Bengal had 11, Madhya Pradesh had 10. And you have to see your state. So in our state, they had 20 deaths because of these heat waves. And if you're talking about further more details, so states that have so fewer deaths till June, they were Himachal Pradesh. Especially if you see the northern part, they will be having less because they comes under temperate region. So Himachal Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, AP, they got less number of deaths. And the state have been told to prepare their heat health sector plan, and especially from central government. So they gave the advice to states that they have to come up with their own plans, because some states they will come under temperate region, some states which comes in a tropical region, and some states they will be having higher rainfall, and some states they will be having less rainfall, higher heat, and some states they have topography, different topography, like they will be having western ghats, some states they will be having plains, some states they will be having deserts. So based on their conditions here, central government asked the states to come up with their own plans to deal with this heat waves, and they said that they have to go for awareness regarding the buildings, upgrading the health system capacity, and they have to also strengthen the healthcare infrastructure to treat this health related things, that is heat related health issues, and they have to reduce the number of deaths because of this heat waves. And till now 28 states they have completed their plans regarding how to deal with this heat waves. And even IMD, that is India Meteorological Department, which also came up with issuing of heat wave alerts. Okay, and even they also shared with state level nodal officers on climate change, and they want to ensure the health facility preparedness and follow up also. So now it is the time to see some facts regarding this heat waves. So heat waves are nothing but they are prolonged period of excessively hot weather, and this heat waves they cause adverse impacts on human health. It will be have adverse impact on environment and even economy. So India, it is a tropical country and it is particularly vulnerable to these heat waves. And nowadays we can see these heat waves become more frequent and more common in the recent years. And what is the criteria? So criteria is different for the plains, hilly regions and even coastal regions. So heat wave is nothing but whenever there is a continuous or maximum temperature reaches at least 40 degrees centigrade for plains and 30 degrees centigrade for hilly regions. So for hilly regions it is 30 degrees and for plains it is 40 degrees. And if you see the severe heat wave means, so whenever from the normal, if it is more than 6.4 degrees centigrade, it is called as severe heat wave. And if you are talking about the coastal areas, so temperature whenever it is more, that is 4.5 degrees centigrade more than the normal, then that is called as heat wave in this coastal areas. Okay, so this is about this topic. And now I want to make a small announcement. We in Rathod's IAS, we came up with this daily mains answer writing practice course, and this course is for 1 year, and here we are going to cover each and every topic from your GS syllabus, that is GS1, GS2, GS3 and GS4, and we are even covering essay and case study on every Sundays. And this course, it is going to be started from August 1st. The new batch is going to start from August 1st. And try to join this course so that you can improve your answer writing skills. So answer writing skills plays a very important role in your UPSC, and if you want to clear this UPSC, so here UPSC will be taking into account your mains marks, and you have to focus on keywords. So what exactly you have to write to that so and so keyword, and you have to focus on handwriting speed, you have to focus on the content, and you have to focus on answer writing skills like presentation. So all these things you have to write, and you have to write answer within the time limit and word limit. So these are some challenges that you have to overcome if you want to get a good marks. So we are going to learn all those skills in this mains answer writing practice course. So try to join this. So this will be absolutely beneficial for you people. And one more thing is, so here if you have any queries, you can call me on this number 8074765513. And the important features of this course is, so only one question will be given and model answer will be given for you, and there will be detailed evaluation, So one-to-one mentorship and also live doubt clearing sessions on every Sunday. So try to join this course so that you can clear your doubts, and I will be giving you the personal mentorship. So the student who want the personal mentorship from Rathod's IAS, you can join this course. And not only we are going to give this personal guidance regarding mains answer writing, but regarding your preparation also. And the cost of this course is 8,200. So try to join this course. And if you have any queries, you can ping me on WhatsApp or Telegram on this number. Okay, so I hope that many students are going to join this course. And now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. So this is our today's Hindu. Date is July 28th and today is Friday. So the first topic, it is about Mishra's tenure, that is ED director tenure. So ED director came up with the third extension, and finally a Supreme Court extended the tenure till September 15. That means here ED director, he won the case. And if you move forward, in the city page there is nothing much important, and you can directly move on to states page. I discussed this topic regarding 30 MNCs. They come up to form this circular economy coalition. You can leave this spotlight, Metro Plus. And in editorial page, I discussed this topic regarding National Research Foundation Bill. I discussed this topic regarding India-China relations. I discussed this topic regarding Forest Amendment Bill. And if you move forward in this text and context, I discussed this topic regarding Yamuna floodplains. So please let me know whether I am fast or not. So if I am fast, please let me know so that I can reduce the speed. And if you move forward, here you can say court says yes, that is archaeological survey of Gnanvopi Mosque till August 3rd. So here you have to know some facts regarding archaeological survey of India. And next topic is ayes or nays. So ayes means yes, nays means no. So here whenever we are having the voice vote in parliament, then what happens? So here the speaker or chairman, they will be saying ayes or nays. That means yes or no. And the news page, there is one article that is no president can retract climate change promise. So this article is important regarding climate change point of view. Actually it is an interview, so if you are interested you can go to this. And I discuss this topic regarding Kerala reports most deaths, and this topic it is according to the PWDs, that is persons with disabilities. So here there is no accurate count of persons with disabilities population, says parliamentary panel. So this is one sad thing that I can say, because even though we have number of acts for the promoting of wellness of this physically disadvantaged people, but there is no data regarding the population. So what is your opinion based on this? Please let me know in the comment box. And this world page also, there is nothing much important. In this business page, there is one article that is government may extend this PLI scheme to chemicals, petrochemicals. So this is nothing but production linked incentive scheme. So government, it is going to offer some incentives to the companies which are increasing the production in this chemicals and petrochemicals. So this will helpful to boost investments in this petrochemicals and chemical sectors. So here you have to know what is this production linked incentive scheme. So this is your homework, and these are some important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I am concluding. So subscribe to Rathod Science Academy for the further more informative videos that we are going to post in this channel. And by this I am concluding. Thank you so much.